Good morning and welcome to the 8:15 Daily Operations Weather Brief. This morning we have some autumn-like conditions out there with clearing skies out to our west and some more so heavy cloud cover off to the east. As for our main weather features today, we'll see cool and breezy conditions with lowered rain chances, and those will carry through the day in conjunction with some unfavorable dynamics for any severe weather threat. So that's definitely going to help our case as we move through the day today. Our highs look to crest in the low 70s with cloud cover remaining rather low, albeit at times variable, as we do have a stalled front just offshore, and that the location of that stalled front will waver slightly east and west and might bring in periods of a little bit heavier cloud cover. But overall, we should have a nice, cool day with only slight weather-related concerns, as we do have those elevated winds that may necessitate a wind advisory as we move into the afternoon and see a slight uptick in those expected gusts. Now, taking a look at our most recent surface analysis chart, we can see that cold front that had impacted our area over the weekend has since stalled offshore and has led to the development of a coastal trough there running along the coast. And that is all while high pressure over the Midwest continues to build into the region and shift eastward into New England throughout the day today. Now, as a result of this kind of setup, we'll see our breezy conditions continue throughout the forecast period, and it will lead to another unseasonably cool day to start off the work week, with our overnight lows looking to drop into the low to mid 60s and autumn-like weather continuing Tuesday and Wednesday, with our highs in the low to mid 70s and overall drier air over the region. Now, although with that being said, Wednesday does look to bring in some chances of some showers, as that coastal trough does look to retrograde back towards the coast a little bit, and especially depending on the proximity of a coastal low that some of the models have picking up and forming just offshore. Depending on the proximity of where that low ends up sitting, our rain chances will adjust slightly, but Wednesday does look to bring in some chances of light rain. As for our current weather, we do have some clouds out there this morning. We have a scattered deck, at 10,000 feet and a scattered deck aloft at 25,000 with unrestricted surface visibility. Our winds are more so out of the north at about 9 knots, and we see a temperature hovering just around 60 degrees this morning and a relative humidity of 83%. Moving on to this morning's satellite imagery, we can see most of that cloud cover there offshore, or just offshore. And most of that should remain to the east of our local area today, and maybe at times get pushed a little bit inland just because we do have some slight onshore flow. But in general, cloud cover stays associated with the location of that stalled front, which is offshore, and we see high pressure working to clear out our skies off to the west. Taking a look at our most recent model run, this is the a high-resolution model on a 24-hour loop, and we can see that for the 24-hour loop here that we remain rather dry, with all of that convective activity and rain staying offshore associated with the location of that front, as we saw in that satellite imagery. But again, looks to remain dry for today. And that brings us to our 24-hour risk chart here and 24-hour forecast. We can see our cloud coverage for the day generally remains scattered, with a couple periods in which we might see that turn broken, but prevailing should be scattered. Our highs look to crest in the low 70s with lows in the low 60s tonight, and rather dry air for the day today, and still seasonably dry as we move into the overnight hours, although that relative humidity does kick up a little bit once we come into the early morning tomorrow. Winds today are going to be the biggest risk that we have. They look to gust up into the low 20s, potentially reaching that wind advisory threshold that sits at 25 knots, so pretty close on that accord, but winds generally out of the north-northeast at 10 to 15 knots through the day today, decreasing slightly overnight and then picking back up in the morning tomorrow. And green across the board for everything else. Just breezy conditions to make note of today. Now, as for our short-term risk chart here, Tuesday we can expect those breezy conditions to continue with cloudy skies and a high of 73. The chance for a wind advisory certainly sitting there. And then on Tuesday night, breezy and cloudy with a chance of a passing shower late and into the early morning of the overnight period and a low of 65. Winds should be slightly diminishing at that point, but still in the realm of a wind advisory threshold. And ceilings, it's a low-end yellow on the board there. Does look like there's a chance for some low-level moisture to be in the equation, and we might see some low-level clouds or ceilings working into our picture. Now, Wednesday, cloudy with a chance of showers throughout the day. Mostly a slightly elevated chance, I would say, closer to that morning period. However, we do see the chance for some scattered showers throughout a good portion of the day. And a high of 71 for Wednesday. And again, those ceilings, we might see those linger into the early morning and start to dissipate as we move into the afternoon. And that is going to conclude the 8:15 daily weather operations brief. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with the 7-day outlook and hope everyone has a great day.